Congratulations, you made it to the third part of the tutorial. Now we're going to start talking about Photoshop. Photoshop, hopefully is more interesting than the basics of Pinnacle, and we're going to do some interesting stuff with this Photoshop. It's a lot of fun, and this is one of my hobbies really. I love to play around with pictures and create interesting images. So if any of you guys have good Photoshop tips for me, please send me a message or a comment, or even make a video response. I love hearing about new techniques, and hopefully I can kind of give you some interesting tips as well. First off, before we get into the Photoshop, I want to kind of make a note about how to keep organized. This is a folder that I use for Christmas, and I kind of I have a projects folder, and then I created a folder for Christmas, and then I create like an audio, an image, a project, and a video. And of course in the audio, I showed in the first part of this tutorial, I have a raw and then a working, and these are the project files for the Audacity. And then I just go ahead and I post all my, I had to make a couple corrections, so I post all the voiceovers in here. Then in video, whatever video I'm using, I put it in here, and then I direct Pinnacle to that folder. So remember, in video, you go up here and you just direct it into that folder. And then images, I do the same thing. I go into Google Image, I download various images that I'm going to use for this project, and I create two folders, one used and then one called working. And the working folder, I just go ahead and I try to keep organized. This was like kind of the intro portion of the video, and then I did like Catholic Mass, Christmas scenes, and so on. And then I try to keep them organized in this. And then when I'm ready to use the file, I go ahead and open it up in Photoshop, and then I resize it and get it ready to put in the project. And when I create a finalized video, or when I create a finalized image, I put it in used. And I number them. So this is like starts 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And I try to number them and title them with something relevant to what I'm speaking about in the voiceover. And so you can see that it keeps it very organized, and it can become a lot of files. This is over 100 pictures that I specifically created for this one project, and these videos take me a long time to produce, many hours to produce these videos. So let me show you quickly how I get a picture ready for the project. I always put these two or three templates in each of my used folders. And this screen is I open this up. This is the exact dimensions of the widescreen for Pinnacle, and then this is just this one is just a bigger version of the same one. And I'll show you what I do with these in a second. But if you should really write down these dimensions. If you hit Control Alt and C, you can see the dimensions for this. And if I were you guys and you want to kind of follow what I've been doing, I'd write down these dimensions, and then you can save it as just a template. And then what I do is I go into you see my working file. I open up this. See, so I go open with and then Photoshop, and then I hit Control plus A, which is select all. Then I hit Control C, which is copy. Then I go ahead and close that. Then I hit Control V, and that pastes it into this template. Now see, that image, if I would have used this image straight up, it would not have fit the exact dimensions of the video scene of this. See, this is basically this. So what you do is, in order to keep the aspect ratio of this picture so the pixelation and everything doesn't diminish and the quality doesn't go down, I right click, I go to convert to smart object, and then a shortcut to you can go up to edit and then free transform, but you can just hit Control T. That's the shortcut. So I just hit Control T, bring this over to the corner, and then just size it so it's exactly the size of my screen. And then I just click off and hit place, and then I need to get rid of this smart object option that's on it, so I can change the coloring and maybe use some filters or whatever on it. So I right click it, and then I go to this option, Now you can see. Now if you want to zoom in on the picture, instead of going to this option here and doing a zoom like that, you can hit Control and Alt. Hold down Alt, and then you can scroll in with your mouse button, your mouse wheel. I mean. Now see, this isn't the highest quality picture, and one thing you can do, sort of, if you find a really bad quality picture, there's a couple things you can do to improve the quality. One of them is to go up to Image, go to Adjustment and Brightness Contrast. If you bring up the brightness, up the contrast, and bring down the brightness, it kind of seems like it's a little bit higher quality. And if you want to see the difference between that, you can go to, see, it kind of seems a little bit better quality. Another thing you can do is, if you have just a really horrible image but you can't find anything better, this has happened to me a lot, I just cannot find a better way to illustrate what I want to talk about, but the image is a very poor quality, what you can do is you can add a filter to it and make it kind of artsy. So you go up to Filter, I go down to Filter Gallery, and then I love this option here, it's the dry brush, and I bring these two down and this one up, and hit OK, and see, and it kind of creates like an artistic kind of pixelation, but it doesn't look like it was bad quality to begin with. It kind of looks like it was, you know, I've done this several times and it seems to work out pretty well, and it gives your video kind of a stylized feel to it. Of course, you can remove that. This is your history here. You can go ahead and just click back on the history and it will take that off. So I'm going to leave that, and then now I go down to File and I go to Save As. Also, try to get used to using the hotkeys, and you can go much faster. Shift Control S. You can save it, and then I would probably save that as like 0, 1. Alright, now I go into Pinnacle and I go into my pictures here. Now here's the file that I just created, Atom. I double click that, and now when I paste it into my timeline, see, it's exactly the correct dimensions that I need. And then from here I can go ahead and just zoom in or whatever I need to do, but it fits the dimensions, and it helps a lot. I mean, it takes a little bit of time to get used to using this method, but it definitely helps a lot in producing the video. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do how to kind of merge a picture together. Say you want to add a couple different elements. Say we want to do a space scene with like the sun and the earth, and kind of, you know, see how that works. So we're going to go to Google and we're going to go to Image, and I'm going to try to find a space background. So type in stars. So I'm going to use this this picture here. So you can right click, and if you're downloading a lot of images, kind of get used to paying attention to some of these shortcuts here. If you look, you can see that one of the letters is underlined, and if you look at Save Image As, the V is underlined. That means when you right click and you hit V, it's going to automatically save the image, and you just hit save. So you can just get used to right clicking and then hit V, and you don't have to keep like looking for the option every time, like go down the list and find out where it is. So just kind of get used to those, and you can download a lot faster. So now I'm going to look for sun. This sun looks okay, so we'll click on this one, and I'm going to save that. Okay, so now go back into my working, and I'm going to first do the background. So I'm going to open up Picture, this one, Picture 3. Now see, I'm going to select all, copy, and then paste it into here. And then I'm going to see, to zoom in and out, I hold Control and then I scroll on the mouse wheel, and that really helps me see what I'm doing. Now there's a lot of stars here, and I don't want quite so many. I want it to be kind of darker. So I'm going to go up to Image, Adjustments, Brightness. I'm going to bring up the contrast, bring down the brightness, and I can kind of pick how many stars I want. That should be okay. Then I'm going to do the sun. Now pay attention here. See, every time I paste something in, I'm creating a new layer. And okay, so I'm gonna convert that. And these layers are important because it's not all one image, and these layers can be saved individually and moved around within the program itself, and we'll look at how to do that pretty soon. But I just want to make you aware that if I turn this off, see this little eye icon, if I turn that off, then the layer goes away. So now I want this sun just to be by itself. I don't want all this extra stuff around it. So I'm gonna remove that option off. And I'm gonna go to my eraser tool, and now I'm gonna right click on, and then I have my eraser options. I can pick the hardness and the size. If I kind of select this size a little bit like this, the computer recognizes that that's what the option I'm looking at, and now I can just move away and use my scroll wheel on my mouse to change the size, how big I want it. And I want the hardness kind of medium hardness. So probably about, this is like really soft, this is really hard. So I want this about like here. Okay. And now I'm going to hit Control and zoom in, and I want to go quite like around this border here. Now see how my eraser is kind of soft? It's kind of feathering almost. The pixels aren't quite being erased all the way. So I'm just going to do this really quick. So I've quickly gone around it one time, and now I'm going to right click, make my brush a little bit bigger, and I'm going to probably just go ahead and bring up the hardness all the way, and then I'm just going to get rid of the rest of this. Now we have a big sun here. I'm going to make a little bit smaller. This is a similar effect I did with the Christmas video. Now I want to have a kind of a glow. I want the sun to be glowing. So what you can do is down here there's a little FX button. Click this. We'll go to blending options. Now we have a bunch of different options here, and you can play with these you know, on your own time, but I'm going to show you a couple that I think are really important. The main one I use is outer glow, and we click on that, and now we're given options. You bring this up, and now there's kind of a glow around and now the spread makes the glow a little bit thicker. See, I just leave that all the way down, and I just let the size get bigger. Now we want to change this. We want it to kind of be a red yellow. Actually, I'm going to bring this all the way down, and I'm going to put it on red, a really dark red. And now we have kind of like a glowing sun. And now say I want to do an earth over here. So I'm going to right click, open with Photoshop, Control Alt, copy, paste. Now we have kind of a black border around this earth, and just quickly I'm going to take the I'm going to leave the hardness down since it's black already. And when you change the hardness of the eraser, it's basically just allowing you to feather. If you're not familiar with feathering, I'll explain that pretty soon. But see, so I did that really quick. Now say you wanted half the earth to be hidden, like it's kind of a shadow and all the sun rays are coming on this face, and the back of the earth is being hidden. Okay, so we're going to hit Control A, select all, so the border is now going to be highlighted. We right click and we go layer via copy. So now there's two. And we're going to go into this layer, and we're going to go into the effects, blending options, and we're going to do a color overlay. And we want that color overlay to be black. Okay, now we're going to move this layer on top of this one. So now that black layer is hidden underneath. See, it's black. And then we're going to go into the eraser, and the eraser is going to be up pretty big, and the hardness is going to be all the way down. So it's going to be a soft eraser. And now we're just going to lightly go over this, and now it looks like there's a shadow coming over that. Now if we wanted to move both of these layers back together to move it, get a little room away from the sun, you hit Shift and then select which layers you want to move, and then go up to this move option up here, and then just move both layers back. And there, now we have kind of the earth and sun together. And then we just go to File, or you can also just remember hit Control Shift and S, and Save As. We can name that number 2. So that's kind of how you make a composition of different images. Now let's say you wanted to do sort of a collage. I'm going to do just a random collage. I'll pick like a family or something. And I want various pictures of families and kind of have them kind of grouped together. Now, if you want to open up these, I like to open up the pictures in different tabs. So when you right-click the image, if you see right here it says Open Link in New Tab, and that T is underlined. So you just right-click and hit T. See, and now it's opened up in a new tab. So here are the family pictures that I've gotten there, and I'm gonna see, I've already saved this, so I can just go ahead and select all these layers and delete them. I'm going to go to File, Open. I'm going to go into the family, and I'm just going to open all of these in Photoshop. I'm going to hit Control, Copy, and then close that, and then I'm going to paste it into my template. I'm just going to paste them all in here. Alright, so now I've kind of resized all the pictures and got them to appropriate sizes. Let me show you really quick what feathering is. Let's see. Now say I wanted to just have like this family here and kind of remove everything else and have it have a soft kind of border to it. I can go here, and if I hold down the left button on the mouse, I have a couple different options. I can do a rectangle marquee kind of a selection tool, or I can do an elliptical marquee tool. And see, so I create an elliptical around this family like this. Then I right click on it, and then I go down to feather. And now it's saying how many pixels do I want to feather. I say about 30. And then I hit Control, Copy, so I make a copy. And I'm going to make this background black so we can kind of see the feather. Oh, if you have something selected like this, it's not going to let you do anything. It's not going to let you do any other actions until the selection tool has been removed. So just hit Control D, and that selection tool is then removed. Now I'm going to make this background black. Now I've already copied the feathered image. I'm going to paste it. Now see how that's been feathered like that? That creates a kind of a nice ability to make a collage kind of from this. Now if we put other pictures around it, it's all going to look kind of feathered and it can meld in together. But now you see how when you feather, you're left sometimes with a little border up top, and that doesn't look good all the time. So what you can do is to get rid of that, we'll go up to our eraser tool, and then we'll just kind of lightly erase, and see now that goes away. And I have it on a very big setting on lowest hardness, like 0% hardness. Now we're going to do another image. Now instead of feathering all of these all the time, what you can do is just I just use the eraser. So make sure the action is on that picture, and then I'm just going to erase around the border. Now I'm going to put this picture. Now, sort of in the pinnacle as well, this is the layering order. Whatever's on top is going to be coming up to the forefront. So just, this is something done very quick, and I know it doesn't look that great, but if you wanted to piece together a lot of different images, you can kind of feather the edges like that with the eraser, and it'll kind of meld them together, and it will look pretty good. But you got to take your time, and I don't want to waste so much time on this aspect of it. But this is a good trick, a good tip. You can apply it, remember, with the Earth scene and the sun, or just a variety of a collage or anything like that. Now I want to get to something pretty cool. I'm going to show you how to layer images together and then put them into Pinnacle and create kind of like a moving image. So I originally had an idea for an image that I wanted to use in my latest video, but the way I was going to use it was right after the Holocaust video clip, and I didn't really want to change the mood from that, and so it didn't really work in the video. But I'm going to show you the video or the image now and how I would have used it, but I didn't think it would have been appropriate because I was sort of making fun of Jesus going to heaven. The original line was Jesus had the winning lottery ticket to the VIP section in heaven, and I kind of wanted to make it like a club where Jesus was like disco dancing and having like an awesome time in heaven. So the original image, I'll create like a black background, and then I found sort of like this club, kind of a discotheque kind of looking thing. And this is the original image here. I very sloppily just erased it here. I can probably do a better job of that. But on top of a black background, you can't even tell the difference really. And then I found a disco ball. This is just kind of looking on the internet. I found a disco ball, and I kind of erased that and kind of cropped it up, and then I layered these together. Now what I wanted to do is have a kind of a title here, and then have Jesus kind of disco dancing, and then kind of like a VIP section, show like this is the VIP section of the club. So first let's kind of work on the title. I'll show you how to do some text. Go in here to the text tool, and I'm going to say club. Now I'm going to make the text white, and I want to select the font. Okay, and now instead of increasing the font by going up here, because here's like it says the font size, like right and then you can start putting in the numbers if you want to increase it above 72. But another way to just do that, which is much easier, is you just hit Control T for transform, and then you can just make that text as big as you want by just dragging it. And then if you want to kind of rotate it, you bring your cursor over to the side and then just rotate. Alright, that looks good. Now I want to add, I always like to add a little border to the text. It allows it to pop out, and especially if you have any light colors around the text, the words are going to tend to blend in with the background. So I always like to add a border. So you just double click, or actually we go down here to the effects, blending options, and then we do a stroke. And I usually set the stroke to about 2. And now we're going to do another text. Apply, add a stroke. Is I like to add kind of a glowing border to it, and we'll go into outer glow, kind of how we did for the sun, and I like to add kind of a yellowish, a light yellow border, and we're gonna bump up the size. You don't need too much, that's about good, and we'll say 38 because we want the other one to be the same. So here's a picture of this disco dancer, Saturday Night Fever. We're going to open this up into Pinnacle, or going to open up in Photoshop. Now, unfortunately, this is a white background, and he's wearing a white suit. If it was like a black background, you might be able to get have a shortcut of taking this magic wand here and selecting the border, and then just hitting delete. But you can see that it's selecting also his clothes. So if you were to delete this, you would delete the white in his clothes. There's ways of kind of cropping the body out. I'm not very good with it. There's tutorials out there. I usually just take the hard way and just go around, zoom in really close, just take an eraser and just kind of delete, just erase around the border. And that usually creates a much better quality image than if you were to use some of the other tips and tricks that they show you. But see how this is a background here? The image itself is a background. In order to get this person out of the frame, you need to create it as a separate layer. So we're going to hit Control A, right click, and we're going to say Layer via Cut. Now we have the background separate, and now this guy. See, so now there's a matte behind him. This is going to be a matted image. So now when we start erasing, see, the matte shows up from the behind. Okay, so now I have this guy totally removed from the background, and I'll put up the black background behind so you can see how he looks. Now we're gonna copy him, hit Control A, Control C, and we're gonna paste him into the frame here. So there he is. But now we need to get Jesus's head on his body. And I'm just gonna select his head like this, and then I'm just gonna copy it. Copy and paste it in here. Now, in order to get his head lined up perfectly with this other guy behind him, see, you can't really see very well. So I'm going to go into blending options, and I'm going to reduce the opacity about like that. Then I'm going to hit Control T to transform, and I'm going to try to size it. That looks about right. Now I'm going to bring back up the opacity, and I'm going to have to erase around Jesus' head now. Okay, now I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to get rid of this guy's head. Now we can kind of see that the body color does not match the neck color. So we need to change this body color a little bit so it's a little bit darker. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go up here to the Select tool, and we're going to do the Polygon Lasso. It's going to go around his clothes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sample the color of Jesus' skin and then put it in here. So we're going to go to Color tool, and now when you take the eyedropper around to a different part of the picture, we can sample the color. Okay, now what we need to do actually is create a new layer. Okay, so we just created a new layer down here, hit this button, and then we're going to paste that in. Now that's going to fill this, and now we're going to double click and change the opacity. See, that doesn't quite match, so we're going to open this up again. We're going to go to a color overlay, and we can just select the color until it seems a little bit better. There we go. Now what we can do is we're going to merge these layers together. So we're going to hit Shift, select all three layers, and then go down to Merge Layers, and now they're all going to be one layer. So we can move this around, and it's just going to be like one picture now. Now here we can use this, now remember it's a background, so we have to do a Select All, right click it, and then say Layer via Cut, and then we can just delete that background, and see now it's going to be matted. It'll be able to be matted. Now we're going to go to the this magic tool brush, and we're just going to select all this purple, and then just hit Delete. See, and all that purple goes away. And you can see that some of the edges here, they look a little kind of pixelated and not very nice. We'll go up to this tool right here, this blur tool. We're going to say we want hardness up pretty high, size is good. And we'll just go over this and we'll blur it, and now the edges look much smoother. And see how there's still sort of purple here? We'll go to the tool brush again and just delete out that purple area. Now this is going to be a little bit difficult. We need to remove this. I don't want this jamming 98.3. So what you can do is you can try to color over it with the pencil tool, brush tool. We'll sample this color here, and then we'll change the size. And we'll bring down the hardness. Now, once we kind of get to this area, there's kind of a shadow on here. We don't really want to lose that shadow. So what we can do is we can go into this. It's called a clone stamp. And what you do is you have to hit, here it says you have to hit Control or Alt and then click. You hold down Alt and then you click on a source point. We'll bring the size down a little bit. So we hit Control and then see how the icon changes. And then we click on a source point. And then as I move the brush down here, well, here we'll click on this border. Now as I hold down the left button, you see this little crosshair that popped up? I'm sampling the image from that area, and I'm basically painting over what is kind of upstream from there. So now I got that that set up, and you know, I did the best I could with that, but it's so small that you're not going to really even be able to tell. And now I pasted that in the corner, about right here. And now I want to add one extra touch to Jesus. See, the borders, they're not perfect. It kind of looks a little strange. So a tip that you can use to kind of blend out some of the edges is to add a glow, even to people. So I'm going to go in here, double click, go into blending options. Now there's various types of glow here. See, this is the type you can pick. This is just sort of a gradient glow, but you can do like a rainbow color glow if you want, and then increase the size, and now he's sort of like a gay Jesus disco dancing. So there we go. That's about it. That's the full picture. Now what we can do is we're going to save these once you set up the entire picture. This is everything that we want in the frame. Now we're going to save them as different layers and then import them separately into Pinnacle. So I'm going to remove the Jesus and remove the VIP, and I'm going to save this. I'm going to just call it back. And then I'm going to turn off all of these. And I'm going to just turn on Jesus. And I'm going to save this as. And I'm going to do the same for the VIP sign. And here we see our three layers: the disco, Jesus, and the VIP. So we're going to first put in the back and extend that out. And then we're going to put in, see, this is going to be in the very background. Now the layers are going to come on top of that. So the layers are going to come on top of this. Jesus goes in the middle, and then this VIP will come in third. Now see, if you wanted to add more elements, more tracks would be handy. But since we're limited to 3, that's all we can deal with. So now I want sort of moving parts here. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to have this kind of move over to the right. And then I'm going to have this, I'm going to move this over a little bit here. I can actually just hit reset there. And then I'll have Jesus kind of zoomed in a little bit, sort of standing in the middle. Okay, so now I'm going to open this up and we're going to take a look at, see how it looks. So, you know, it's not too bad, but that's the way you can kind of layer things together and fool around with it. Here's an effect I did in the Christmas video. I had a picture of a couple children celebrating the holiday, and then I had a Christmas, or I had the Christian word kind of slam on top of them and kind of shake the scene. So first of all, I'm going to have this drop down. So I'm going to zoom in as close as I can and kind of move it off screen a little bit, and then I'm going to reset it like that. And then the shorter you have the clip, the faster it will come in. And I'll just move this over to match previous. So now we can see that this is going to really slam in fast. I can even make it faster. Like that. So now what I want to do here too is I'm going to go up to a toolbox, grab video frame, grab. I'm going to make a cut. I'm going to add this to the movie. Okay. So now this scene where the word and the picture are all together is the scene that's going to be rumbling, kind of from the impact of the word dropping down on the frame. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to go into the effects. Now here in the Studio Ultimate RTF Earthquake. And then I'm just going to apply that to the frame. And then once that's done, I'm going to have the Christian word kind of just slide off the... So I'm going to animate, set end, and then just going to have that slide down like that. Alright, so let's see what it looks like. So yeah, you kind of get the idea. I used the earthquake effect a few times, and that's kind of how you can have images sliding over each other and doing different layers. There's a lot more stuff I could show you guys, but I'm kind of getting tired, and I'll save some more tutorials for later. If you guys see anything that you are interested in and how I might have produced something, just go ahead and leave a comment, and when I'm able, I'll try to produce a little tutorial on different effects. I hope you guys found this interesting. I'll try to update this behind the scenes kind of thing from time to time. But I hope you guys out there found this interesting, and you can maybe use some of these tips and tricks to start producing your own videos. Also, you know, to get these programs, they are expensive. I don't want to encourage you to do anything illegal, but there are torrents available for these things to be downloaded for free. So you don't have to necessarily pay for these things. I'm just putting that out there. You don't have to do it, but you know, do it at your own risk. But I'm just letting you know that the option is there. All right, I'm going to sign off, and thanks a lot for watching.